And welcome to Beyond the Rap.
Come on.
Today I'm talking to my friends Jennia and Soul, and we're gonna do a deep dive as we always do. We're gonna talk about Gary, Indiana. Jennia, we're both from there. Talk about your days there. We're gonna talk about my guy Soul, Be More, right? Talk about your days there. Brought you guys both to LA, and then we're gonna dive into Art Melanated because that's what we're here. I want to talk all about that. And we're gonna start with you, Jennia. Let's talk about GI, your days there.
Okay.
Wow.
I heard some things.
Always home though.
Always home. Yes, from Gary, Indiana. He laughs at me because I always talk about how proud I am of being from Gary. Gary held a lot of promise at one point, right, as we all know, and this was why our parents were there. Exactly. And my parents were able to thrive, but by the time we were coming up, that crack era 90s moment was it was a real thing.
It was a real thing.
And I feel like Gary helped to make me who I am, and I'm so grateful for it. But it didn't fit me anymore. Not that it ever really did, because right, I've been a little bit of an outcast.
You didn't choose it. It chose you.
Right. So I'm grateful for the Midwest vibes because I feel like we're funny, we're witty, we're kind, we talk to everybody. Everybody's like second and third generation from the South. I don't know why I'm pointing to you because his people are from Puerto Rico, but you know what I mean.
Point to me.
My father was a popular photographer, right, and we got to go with him on a lot of his shoots, and most of his shoots were all based around celebration. So I spent a lot of time going to fun things like a wedding, everybody's in a good mood, you know what I mean? A big church event, everybody's in it, so he shot for the NAACP, he shot the Jacksons in their early days before I was born, but...
Still trying to find the photos.
Still trying to find those photos, but I would say I spent a lot of time in, maybe that's why I'm a happy person for the most part, but I spent a lot of time in celebration, so...
Did he work on Sundays?
He did. He worked every day. He was an entrepreneur, so there was no off days. Why did you ask that?
I thought you were going to tell her how he had to come collect some money from the church on Sunday.
Well, there's a funny family memory of my father cursing out a preacher who he'd shot an event and hadn't paid my father week after week after week after week, even though he had the photos, the materials, all the things. And my father showed up on a day where he knew the preacher would be there.
Sunday service.
Which happened to be Sunday service.
Gangster.
And the preacher, who I guess was gangster himself, or so he thought, he said, please let Mr. Watson know I don't do business on Sunday, on the Lord's Day. And my father then quickly said, motherfucker, I took your pictures on a Sunday. I work on a Sunday. You're going to pay me on a Sunday. He said, so go get my goddamn money. So.
Yes, yeah.
What was it like growing up in Boston?
There's a lot of different versions, just depends on which one, It's definitely a city that taught me how to, be very observant, understand that there are boundaries in life, physical, emotional, territorial. Not everybody was involved in the Wire version, right, but it was very real. Yeah. Like, and you're 1 degree away, no degrees away. Yeah. So you have a choice, every day. Like, are you going to participate in that version, right, or figure out another way to still be fly and be cool, and keep them off of you while still surviving and thriving. You know what I'm saying? I think it taught me how to be very resourceful. Okay. And I think that's, I don't know if that's where it came from, but I definitely think I developed my audacity in Baltimore.
I love that.
It's audacity to do stuff that not everybody else is doing. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with confidence, you know?
Like if you come from the hood and you have a little chutzpah and you leave that hood, yeah.
The audacity.
You
got the audacity
to leave and do something.
The audacity. And not everybody's rooting for you when you do that sort of thing either. So a week before, I think it was the night before I was leaving, or like 2 nights before I was leaving, to put my stuff in my car to drive to LA, because I put all my stuff in the car and drove across country. So my car got broken into like the night before I was leaving. And it was weird. The alarm starts going off. You know, the neighbor opens the door, and I go out there. Obviously, I don't see anybody or whatever, but the window is broken. So the next day, you know, I'm outside with 2 of my friends, neighborhood dudes. And I'm telling them, and I'm like, yeah, you know, my car got broken into last night. And the way they looked at each other with a little grin, I was like, this is why I'm leaving. But it taught me not everybody's rooting for your success.
You're not. And it's only because they don't have the strength to do what you're doing. They want to, but they can't get up and go like you did, so they're jealous that you were able to do it.
Audacity.
And that's the sad part, but we have the audacity to do it. And it's not saying that because someone else didn't leave,
of course, no,
bad thing, but we just wanted something different for our lives. It's not necessarily more, but yes, but just something different that wasn't there.
That's it.
Totally
exactly.
Agree.
Yeah,
totally
exactly.
Agree. And I admire the people that do have the courage to stay and help build up their community. My parents were among, several couples and people that were leaving for greener pastures and outskirts cities. And my parents really believed in the city and stayed and were a really positive, like your parents, a positive part of the community. My brother was a chief of police at one point. My dad taught several people photography. My mom, she sang and played organ for the church. And my grandmother was a town baker. So there's a lot of positive comes from, you staying in your community to help lift it up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so now fast forward, we're in LA. How did you what made both of you want to come to LA?
For me, it was acting. I started as an actor in Gary, and I thought that this is where I needed to be to further expand.
First of all, let me just say, me and Jennia went to the same high school. I don't think I said that, but we went to the same high school, so I've known her for a long time. We weren't necessarily friends. I knew her, she was, I just had to say, you're just always this beautiful model that I admired so much in high school. I did. Okay, I got that out. But we know each other from GI.
She's the model I admire now. So we have that in common.
No, for real, right? So, seeing you become an actress was like, oh my God, I love that she did it. So it was a great big moment. Like, okay, we can do it. Yeah. So,
thank you. I was a class clown. It always came kind of easy for me. So I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing was acting, and I did, and I loved it. I don't know if it loved me back as much as I loved it, but I loved it. I still love. I mean, I'm so proud of my past and what a good time I had. But yeah.
For me, entertainment industry, like I knew it was either New York or LA, and I had already lived in New York, and I was tired of the hustle in New York. I did last 2 years of college in New York, and it was great. Culturally, New York was where it's at. And then I had my first son. I graduated college in May. He was born in June.
Wow.
Right into adulthood. Right in. So, changed some of my, thoughts and, path. But, so I was seeking to, work in entertainment in some capacity. And so, yeah, I had the audacity to pack up the whip and drive it across country in search of, greener pastures and opportunity. Back in the day, people went west for gold. So I came west for gold, and been here ever since.
Isn't it funny though how everybody comes to this place, Hollywood, for the big life, and not everybody makes it, and we did it. So I often think back to that, like, was it a struggle? Absolutely. At least for me, it was. But we did it. We made it. We said we were going to do it, and we did it.
Facts.
But you have to give yourself time in this community. You can't come here thinking. I mean, some people can make it in 6 months. Hey, they can, but don't come here thinking it's just gonna happen like that for you. Like, give it time. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some people just don't give it time after a year. They're like, okay, well, it didn't work out,
When they go home?
and then they leave.
Well, I think they should. I think if they come and they, willing to quit that fast, you should go home.
It's not for them then, right?
That's not for you.
That's
if you're gonna quit.
That's fair.
But that sort of, what I've learned is, like, I find that sort of, lack of seeing it throughness, for lack of a better term, is going to show up in any other area.
Yeah.
I think that when you're committed to, changing your life for the better, the way shows itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just feel like after everything I went through, I didn't give myself a choice. I was like, I'm not going back there. So
not an option.
It's not an option.
Not an
so
option.
I gotta figure it out.
Yeah. I was ready to, at one point, but that's only because I think heavily based on the person that I was with at that time.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't be in this situation with you. And this was after 30 days. I was like, man, but if I go home, I'll be a failure. So let's try to get on my feet, on my own first.
At least pride kept you here.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I was like, I ain't going.
Sometimes for me too.
Because then I got to look at those dudes that broke in my car. And they're like, I knew it. They waiting. Wait, because they was still there.
They on the block.
I'm like, I do not want to see them. Yeah. You find places that align with where you are, in consciousness, and things that support your purpose or your passion.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they say you grow where you're planted, where you're, where you're rooted. So
Absolutely.
we got roots here. Now we're empty nesters. So we got a whole another chapter that has opened up.
That's a whole other conversation. That's a whole other conversation.
I'm not ready to have.
But that paved the way for, what it is that we're able to pour into now, and all of the creative babies we're able to raise.
Okay, so let's get into that.
Yeah.
Get into that now.
Yeah.
Yes.
You like that's how I bridge that naturally?
Into that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all.
So I just want to, I'll take it back to the origin story of Art Melanated.
Okay.
I'm acting, but also actively writing at the same time because I'm becoming disenchanted with some of the roles. Now, part of that is my fault because I was strictly comedy. And after a while, it's like, I don't know, I just was feeling a bit unsatisfied in what I was doing and being offered. So my husband, who is segueing into the producing aspect of it, we're like, we're moving behind the camera in different ways now. And we came to an agreement that we were talking about projects that we could do together and how beautiful they could be, or, whatever, but we needed proof of concept.
Right.
So the idea is, okay, babe, you write something good, we'll put the money behind it to produce it. Okay. Sounds easy enough. But I'm like, brainstorming, going back and forth, writing different stories, not coming up with it. And then one morning, I don't even remember if I meditated the night before. I don't know what was going on, but one morning he wasn't there. I get this entire story from beginning to end. It comes to me like I download it almost. And
It's them waist beads at night. She wakes up with a whole vivid.
I cannot even express, and I'm like, I'm literally like, I remember I was walking back and forth in the hallway because I could see the whole story from beginning to end. So much so that I call him. I was like, babe, I have this idea for a story, but the thing is, you have to be in it. You have to act in this short. And he's like, there's no way. Like, no and no. Like, I'm not going to say yes, and I'm not going to be in it because he's not interested in acting.
Yeah, I was never interested in, being an actor on camera, like auditioning and stuff.
Right, he has the look. But anyway, but I also knew that he could act because he's running lines with me, throughout the years. I was like, babe, you don't understand. You have to be in it. So I tell him the story. I guess it clicked. Only a few different versions later, we come up with Sacred Heart. What was crazy about Sacred Heart is I was an artist and he was an art dealer. And that was neither.
That's the backstory of the characters.
I didn't never think about that. And I saw it on your post.
Yeah.
And that was
he played an art dealer.
Yeah.
And I was an artist in Sacred Heart.
And this was in 2015, and she wasn't making art.
None.
Like, she put her art down.
Right.
And I was not an art dealer, wasn't thinking about that as a path. I think I was like, why? How you come up with these characters? But whatever. She wrote a dope story, and we shot it.
Yo, now I'm like, got goosebumps.
And fast forward, now,
wow.
she's
I'm a full-blown artist, and he is an art dealer. We were both artists at the same time in the backstory, right. Nichelle and Alexander. He stopped making art. Right. He just got into the selling of it, and it was good to him. So he became, in this story, he's like the Jay-Z of the art world. Isn't that funny? And I'm an artist, and we're just, the relationship is the backstory, obviously, but that's who we were. And fast forward, and I remember I went to an astrologer after we shot it, and she was like, oh my God, this is going to do amazing. It's going to change your lives. You're going to win a bunch of awards. I had no idea that the film, life would imitate art.
Just had a show. We sold it out in Paris. And I'm the art dealer, and she wrote that down. And we acted it out. And we shot the film in Paris, and Paris is where we did her first solo exhibition 10 years after shooting the film.
It really blows my mind that we were playing these characters, ended up walking into this pathway. And we thought, this is great, because he's good at editing and good at obviously sound design, and I can do costuming and the production design.
Yeah, we did. We really did. It was a very skeleton crew. You remember?
Yeah.
It was a very skeleton crew, and we wore several hats.
Yeah. He did all the music.
Yeah.
And we did all the interiors in LA, and we did all the exteriors in Paris. But you'll never know. We come out of that little bar and step outside. It looked.
And we're
that
there.
apartment that we shot in here.
Look,
and we see the exterior.
Didn't it look like a Paris apartment?
It really did.
We cheated all of the interiors for Paris. We had fun.
How did you get here with Art Melanated though? Because that was 10 years ago that we did Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
What made you get to this point that you are the artist, which I didn't know you were actually until you started doing. I was like, wow, you are a real artist. You're not playing. You're amazing.
Thank you.
And then you're amazing at being the art dealer.
Appreciate it.
How are y'all doing this? How did it come to life?
So, Sacred Heart, we win all these awards. We do another movie with Tiana Paris and Pauletta Washington. And then after that, we ended up getting a TV deal for Revolt.
Our productions we're always interested in telling a side of us that often isn't shown, the celebration of fatherhood, motherhood, Black love. And so we did this docu-series, a short series that highlighted that. And the last installment was The Anatomy of Black Art. That's what it was called. This was right before during the pandemic is when we shot it. So we were kind of limited with, people that were okay with us coming to film them, with no masks on or whatever during the pandemic. And so we did that. And about a year later, we were just like, there's so much information that we didn't get to tell in that short little half-hour project. So
There's so much more.
there's so much more, and there's so much information, like so much information that we learned about the art world, how it works, and there's this whole mystery around it. And our community is really, as a general, are late to the party, late to the conversation, and is kind of by design. And so, we felt like, we have a duty to like report this and document, what's happening. So we decided to do a feature-length documentary. That was the project. We said, you know what, we're going to use our film acumen, and we're gonna do a feature-length documentary on Black art and talk to all the movers and shakers and talk about redlining and the whole nine. And we started that, and then we thought, well, we'll do to build out an audience, to build out a community, because we didn't want to just start, put out a documentary, and a successful documentary will have like a 2-year run. Maybe it'll have a window on, a streaming platform or whatever, and then people forget about it, right? So we said we want something because it's such an important movement happening, or that could take place, right? And let's find a way to, excite people around the preservation of our culture through visual art. So we started doing these exhibitions, these shows. They started selling out. People started showing up and trusting our curation.
Showing up.
So
it's
then,
so crazy.
Art Melanated, we would go on these walks during the pandemic, and she was wearing them waist beads again, and the idea came to. So you know what? Let's start Art Melanated, and it's grown into something. It's still growing, and we're still finding our our real value in it. But it's so beautiful. We're having a good time. We're elevating the voices of artists, visual artists, which is kind of when I look back to how I got into art. Even when I was a teenager, in music and pursuing music, I've always had this drive and this almost purpose to help elevate artists, whether it's a musical artist or, actor or television performance. And now it what's clear is like this visual art space is like the last form of just that raw creativity that's unfiltered. They're gatekeepers, but if you have the audacity, you can create a lane for yourself and really win. So we're all in.
That's my word for the year. Audacity.
Audacity.
This is an audacity kind of year.
Yeah, be audacious.
I love that.
Yeah, go for it. Just get it.
Yeah.
Where do you see Art Melanated going? Like, what's your... And you don't have to say, we can wait, because I know y'all got something under y'all.
Yeah.
For me, ultimately, I would love for Art Melanated to become a nomadic museum. Like, there's a really popular show that happened, I think more than 20 years ago. It was called Ashes and Snow by Gregory Colbert, and it was a traveling exhibition that did major cities and was extremely successful. I guess you can compare it to the immersive Van Gogh experiences and the Frida Kahlo that you can compare it to. But I think for me, it's like to do that on a very large scale, going global.
For us, is the exciting part is like to excite, our community around the idea of engaging with art. Like just going and experiencing art or living with art changes how a person feels. It changes your just everything about how you're wired, right? And so, when you look at ancient civilizations and you want to learn about them, we learn from the art that's been left behind.
Exactly.
So when folks are wanting to understand what's happening with us and our consciousness in this period, they're going to look at the art. They're going to look at the music, the movies, and the visual art. And so if we can help foster a world where we go down in history as with intention, that's our goal.
Because art tells a story. It tells the entire story.
It tells you the whole story.
Even though people want to act like our industry can't make us money or it's not important, it's very important.
It's so important.
It's everything.
The story of life, period.
But to me, when I feel like when you hear entities like when when government starts to remove art programs and things like that, to me it sparks something in me. It says it must be important. Another thing that I love about being from Gary, and I bet you it mirrors Baltimore as well, is like the amount of talented people that I was around on a consistent basis. So much talent. Like I didn't leave Gary thinking I was it. Like, no one can top what I'm. No, I left Gary like, wow, we're all amazing, but I gotta go. Right. Exactly. Let me try this elsewhere, you know. But yeah.
Anything
Good stuff.
else you want to tell the good people? Because first of all, I've been to a lot of your Art Melanated shows, and they are amazing. And I'm not just saying they're amazing because these are my friends. Like, you do dope shit.
Thank you.
Really do. Whatever you do is always dope.
Appreciate it.
I'm ready to see the rise of Art Melanated and what's next, because it's just really dope and good to see. I want to just say Black art, but artists of color that you represent, and everything that you do is elevated. So stay within that realm, because we need that.
We're doing it. You know what I mean? We're doing it. Yeah, and we want to inspire others to do that and more. You know, because while we're only one entity, and we showcase a lot of artists, there's so much room for more.
It is. Yeah.
All over the world. You know. So we're very we got our foot on the gas. We got a lot of ground to cover, and a lot of work to do. But yeah, education will be a big part of it. You know, I can't tell too much, but that's going to be a main pillar in what it is that we do. Yeah.
I would just want to say a big dream that we've already stepped so deeply into, and this ties into me writing him as like the Jay-Z of the art world, is he has
Still working on that.
Placed, I don't have the number right now, but he's placed a significant amount of work in museums.
That's true.
And that would be a huge dream, right? And he's been able to do that. Yeah. And I had a solo show in Paris. So pillars and dreams, we're in the middle. We're in it right now.
You're in it. You're doing it. So you guys inspire me with everything you do, and especially as being a couple. You know, no one knows what you go through behind closed doors, but you make it look great, and we know, at least I know, that you truly love each other.
Yeah.
No matter what the hell is happening behind the doors, you truly love each other. You can feel it. So thank you for being...
Appreciate it.
Those people.
Appreciate it.
And just great friends.
Thank you.
Should we give them a manifestation tool to end on?
Yes, let's do that.
Writing it down is powerful, as though it's already done, as though you already have it. And try as much as you humanly can to get excited about the thing that it is that you see yourself or you want to have. That's the thing. See yourself in it as much as you can visualize it.
We've started doing, I guess about a year ago. So we'll celebrate the thing in advance. Yes. Whatever the thing is that we're looking to manifest or attract, we'll celebrate it, and then we'll say, you remember that time that we wrote it down and we planted the seed for this? Like we'll. So I learned through quantum physicists that the brain doesn't know the difference between past, present, and future. Like, let's say you have a trauma from childhood. You were locked in the closet or whatever, right? Now you're claustrophobic. There's something that happened in the past that's affecting your present. In the same way that is true, you can envision yourself in a very real way, and you feel it like it's done in the future, and it'll affect your now, and it'll carry you to that place. So we go to the place and we celebrate it in advance. Yeah. And I think that's a big part of the reason we're able to get things done and the speed at which we're able to get them done.
Like selling out in Paris. Yeah. Everything everybody was saying before Paris, like, oh, we couldn't sell a thing in Paris. Oh, the market's soft. Like, that is... Other people kept... that's all I kept hearing around me. And then I said, I turned... And there was a moment where I was like, oh, God. And then I said, no. I turned off all the noise. And I just would get excited and would talk about how good it felt to sell out in Paris. Like,
because that's a them thing. They got nothing to do with you.
Exactly. Like, everybody's different. So I was like, this is an entire... Like, the planet is huge. Why am I focused on this little small thing? I'm so excited. I'm so excited I sold out. I'm so happy. And
listen, when that doubt creeps in, because it does,
it does.
And it does.
you let the other voice be stronger, and that's it. Or you know what we'll do sometimes, like acknowledge it, like, you know, this has worked for me, or like, I hear you, but that
Like,
we're
make it a
something
child,
different.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you're so
Like
cute.
it's an immature thought, and you treat it like that. We be
Yeah.
talking to ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
It's
We live in
healthy
an
to talk to
imaginary
ourselves.
world. We play.
Yeah, you better.
You know how kids say play pretend?
Yeah.
We play pretend.
I love it. Though.
Yeah.
And stay childlike. That's where you were
Yeah.
happy, right? With nothing wrong with still being childlike. Like you have
We
your
make
adult
pretend.
ways. You know, you have to be an adult, but have fun.
Have fun.
We're having a good time.
Yeah.
And you guys are having fun.
We are.
We're having a good time.
We're
Love you
having a
too.
good
Thank you
time.
so much for having a good
I love
time.
you so much. You're so amazing.
Mm,
Back at you.
mm.